Right, this announcement comes ahead of polls due later this year. The newly founded party will also reveal its policy position on a number of matters. Good held a two-day policy conference this weekend, and we go there now live to the event to our reporter Patricia de Lille.
Afternoon. So I actually have with me a good leader, Patricia de Lille, former mayor of Cape Town. Now let's just jump right into it, Mr. Lille. 36 members announced today of your decision-making body. A lot of them followed you from the DA late last year, but a lot of them also new and young people. Tell us about the makeup of the structure.
Well, I think the people that followed me from the DA are really a smaller number. The bulk of the 36 National Leadership Committee comprise of 4 representing all 9 provinces. And then amongst the 36, we then selected the 10 positions as prescribed in terms of our constitution: a national chairperson, a secretary general, deputies, a treasurer general. And I'm very happy with the kind of skills and experience that we've been able to draw together. It's exactly that wish, to bring South Africans of all races together, young and experienced, to build the good movement.
Now, ma'am, you said where young people are concerned, you won't have a specialized youth league, for instance. You want young people within the upper echelons of party structures. Talk us through that and why that's important for South Africa, particularly in this moment.
Well, if you make an assessment of what's currently happening, where parties have special youth wings and all of that, they are compartmentalizing the issue of youth into a structure. So anything to do with the youth must go to the Youth League, for instance. We say no. Youth are the future generation. We must actually listen to them, because it's their country. They're going to take over from us. So the youth feature prominently in all our policy statements. There's a bias towards youth. There's a bias towards gender because of the feminization of poverty amongst women. So we are going to be different in that way. And what we even illustrated today here, the young people that we already have elevated to be in those positions. And so it's going to be an intergenerational mix, and I will do a bit of nurturing, and I'll also learn from them and vice versa. And that is the future.
Sure. Now, ma'am, you gave us some insight into some policy positions that you guys are working on and are going to, bring together in your manifesto. Spatial justice, that ties in very closely with land, a big debate in the country right now. Give us Good's view on land and spatial justice in cities.
Good is different from the rest, because I can say the rest of government did not address the issue of spatial justice. We've not enough dealt with the issue of apartheid spatial planning. Our cities are still the way they were planned 300 years ago. And so we're very strong on spatial justice. And we need to correct the dispossession of our people. We need to do more about returning land through land restitution to people who've been waiting for centuries to get their land back. Also, what is part of the land spatial justice is also linked to economic justice, because race and space and your gender still determine your opportunities that you get in South Africa. So we've broken land down to the current owners of land. A lot of land is owned by all government departments. And we said that is public land, and that public land should be used for public good. And we need to start distributing from there so we can also begin to give our people assets. But then you've got 9% arable agricultural land. And so we will be consulting with the agricultural sector, both the Black Farmers Union, Agri-SA, to say to them, what are your solutions? But we are not going to get a total solution if we exclude the other owners. The other owners of big parcels of land are the churches. They own big parcels of land. The banks own big parcels of land. Also, there's also some land with traditional leaders. And you cannot really find a solution unless all of those sectors that own the land currently also make a contribution to bring about spatial justice.
Now, ma'am, you're competing with about 130 plus parties that are registered for this election, the big ones, the small ones. Who are you targeting as good voters? What sort of sector in our society are you targeting and will be making your campaign efforts towards, should I say?
Our country make provision, our constitution make provision for a multi-party democracy. Multi-party democracy means contestation of ideas. We have come with an idea and we are going to put the idea into the mix, and it's up to the voters to decide. But also with us being a new kid on the block, I think there's great potential because almost 30% of the voters in South Africa are disillusioned with the current political parties and current political leaders. So there's a big gap for us to move into, and that is certainly what we will be targeting, the undecided voters, because God forbid that our country and our democracy turn into a two-party state. And God forbid that more than 30% of our voters are disillusioned. It can't happen after 25 years. Good one to bring that hope and reconciliation project back again and get those disillusioned voters interested in voting again.
Sure. Last question, ma'am. Where are membership members at as we stand today?
Well, as we stand today, we're just over 67,500 that we've captured and verified. And the capturing is going on. We've got about 4 volunteers, university students that's helping us with the capturing. And you know, as we go along, we will announce more and more. But I'm very pleased with the response and the growth of the party across South Africa.
Sure. All right, that is Patricia de Lille bringing us into the picture of where the Good Party stands. About 60,000 plus members so far since in their short weeks since their inception. So a lot of optimism here for the party, and we look forward to seeing what their manifesto will hold and what kind of policy positions they will stand firmly on.